Hello music lovers! This is Leila, your nostalgic guide through the best stories in the world of music. In today's video, we'll take a journey back in time to revisit the life story of one of the most powerful and emotional voices the world has ever heard, Celine Dion. The Canadian singer, who became an icon in the 80s and 90s, is known for her powerful voice and for hits that defined generations. But behind a successful artist, there's a life story filled with challenges and painful losses. In addition to recent health issues that nearly ended her career, Celine has dealt with the loss of her husband and other close family members, events that deeply affected her personal life. In 2023, a touching video circulated on social media, showing a woman in a wheelchair being helped by two young men to dance with her son at a wedding. Many thought the woman was Celine. However, it was actually Kathy Poirier, who lives with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, and was sharing a special moment during her eldest son's wedding. Although the video wasn't about her, the truth is that Celine is also going through a difficult time. Her health is compromised, and this challenging phase has worried her fans, who hope she overcomes this new battle. In December 2022, Celine revealed in an Instagram video that she had been diagnosed with an extremely rare and debilitating neurological condition, stiff person syndrome. The condition forced her to cancel her world tour and to tell fans that she was not strong enough to perform. Celine, 56, said in a statement, "I'm working really hard to build back my strength, but touring can be very difficult even when you're 100%. This syndrome, which affects only 1 in a million people, causes spasms that make walking, singing, and even daily activities difficult." In her heartfelt Instagram video, she was direct. "As you know, I've always been an open book, and I wasn't ready to say anything before, but I am ready now. I've been dealing with problems with my health for a long time, and it's been really difficult for me to face these challenges and to talk about everything that I've been going through." Celine had to postpone some dates of her European tour since the illness affects her ability to perform and carry out daily activities. Receiving this diagnosis would be challenging for anyone, but for her, it's especially hard because of her life story marked by sorrows. Her journey is marked by losses and struggles, including her fight to become a mother. She has publicly spoken about her IVF treatments and the surgeries she underwent to fulfill her dream of having children. In a 2013 interview, Celine recalled that she would do it all again until her body couldn't take it anymore. In December 2023, Claudette Dion revealed that her sister's health situation was worrying. "She no longer has control over her muscles," Claudette said, explaining that Celine had always been extremely dedicated, but now faced enormous challenges in returning to what she loved, the stage. To show this reality, the documentary I Am Celine Dion, released by Amazon in 2024, closely follows the artist's struggles. The film reveals unseen footage from her career but also shows the difficult moments of her current life. In one of the most impactful scenes, we see Celine in a fetal position as someone asks if she's in pain, and her only response is a groan. It's a powerful image that shows how the disease has affected her life in ways few could have imagined. Despite everything, Celine still has a deep love for music. In an intimate moment of the documentary, she sings to one of her children off camera, proving that even with all the challenges, her essence as an artist remains. For her, the stage was always her life, but today, the reality is very different. Celine Dion was born on March 13, 1968, in Charlemagne, Quebec, Canada. The youngest of 14 children of Audemars and Thérèse Dion, she grew up in a family where music was a daily part of life. From an early age, Celine learned what it meant to live simply. In an interview with CBS News, she recalled that with so many siblings, her house was always bustling. "There were 4 of us in the same bed. I didn't have a room. My bed was in a little nook in the hallway. But despite the hardships, there was something the Dion family never lacked: love, warmth, and support." Music ran in the family's blood. Celine's parents even formed a singing group, the Dion's Family, which toured across Canada. Later, they opened a piano bar in their hometown, where Celine, still a child, would showcase her talent for the customers. By the age of 5, she was already taking the stage, charming the small audience and planting the seeds of a career that would soon flourish. The family's musical talent didn't stop with Celine. A memorable example of this is a touching duet with her sister Claudette in 1988, where the two sang together in an unforgettable performance. It was this deep love for music that propelled Celine, still a teenager, to begin building her career. At the age of 12, Celine met the man who would become the love of her life, René Angelou. Of course, she didn't know it at the time. It all began when her mother and brother wrote a song for her and recorded a demo, hoping to capture the attention of a producer. The demo made its way to various professionals, but only one showed really interest in listening: René. At first, he wasn't particularly impressed, but after an insistent phone call from Celine's brother, he finally agreed. All it took was one listen to recognize the extraordinary talent of this young girl. René invited Celine for an audition. Her performance was so impressive that it moved him to tears. He knew he had found someone truly special. In 1981, René bet everything on Celine. He even mortgaged his own house to finance her first album, La Voix du Bon Dieu, a French-language record that sold over 100,000 copies and produced 2 hits in Canada. Thanks to this success, Celine began to make a name for herself, and René's sacrifice soon proved worthwhile. At 16, Celine was invited to sing for Pope John Paul II at the Olympic Stadium in Montreal, in front of more than 65,000 people. According to her, it was one of the most memorable moments of her life. With her growing success, she began to explore her international potential. Celine went to Europe, where she won awards, and in 1988, she achieved a breakthrough by winning the Eurovision Song Contest in Dublin, Ireland. Her performance was broadcast to numerous countries, marking her entry onto the global stage. Celine was no longer just a Canadian name, she was gradually becoming an international star. By 1983, Celine was already a big name in Canada and Europe. She had accumulated awards and recorded several French-language albums, but the American market was still uncharted territory for her. To conquer it, Celine took an 18-month strategic break to improve her English, renew her image, and work on her stage presence. With her new look, she released Incognito, an album that sold over 500,000 copies and showed the world that Celine was ready for new challenges. In 1990, she launched Unison, her first English-language album, marking her official entry into the US market. The album included the hit Where Does My Heart Beat Now, which topped the American charts. However, during preparations for her first American tour, Celine faced a scare. She lost her voice. Diagnosed with laryngitis and exhaustion, she had to pause to rest and prevent further damage to her vocal cords. In 1992, Celine reached a new level of success. Her duet with Peabo Bryson, Beauty and the Beast, the theme song for Disney's Beauty and the Beast, not only hit the Billboard Top 10, but also won both a Grammy and an Oscar. This track was included in her second English-language album, paving the way for her first gold record in the United States, with more than 12 million copies sold worldwide. The album also featured songs like Love Can Move Mountains and If You Asked Me To. Amidst her success, Celine faced criticism from Canadian fans, who felt she was betraying her roots by entering the American market. In response, she declined the English Artist of the Year award at the Felix Awards, making it clear that her heritage was important to her. Her next album, The Color of My Love, released in 1993, featured major hits like Think Twice and The Power of Love, and marked a special moment. It was when she publicly revealed her relationship with René Angelou. I'll touch more on this topic shortly. In 1995, Celine released Deux, a French album that became the best-selling album of her career in France. The following year, in 1996, she was invited to sing at the opening ceremony of the Atlanta Olympics. That same year, she also released Falling Into You, which sold 32 million copies and won 2 Grammys, including Album of the Year. Among the hit tracks were All By Myself a cover of Eric Carmen's song And Because You Loved Me, the theme for the movie Up Close and Personal. In 1997, Celine reached the peak of her career with My Heart Will Go On, the theme song for James Cameron's movie Titanic. The song was a worldwide phenomenon, playing incessantly on the radio and topping the charts in countries like the United States, the United Kingdom, and many others where Celine was not yet widely known. The success was a stage dream, and Titanic became one of the most awarded films in history, winning 11 Oscars, including Best Original Song for My Heart Will Go On. Interestingly, Celine initially didn't want to record the song. During an appearance on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, she revealed, "There's a song I didn't want to record, and I'm glad they didn't listen to me." It was her husband and manager, René Angelil, who encouraged her. He convinced her to do a demo, saying, "Let's try it and see." And that demo ended up being the official version of the song. The track was included on her album Let's Talk About Love, released in 1997. This album featured impressive collaborations, including duets with the Bee Gees, Barbra Streisand, and Luciano Pavarotti, and sold an outstanding 31 million copies worldwide. In addition to its commercial success, Celine won 2 Grammys for the album, Best Female Vocal Performance of the Year and Song of the Year for My Heart Will Go On.
Je vais chercher ton cœur, si tu l'emportes ailleurs. Je sais c'est guère, je n'ai pas peur. You were my strength when I was weak. You were my
With these accomplishments, Celine solidified her status as one of the biggest music stars. In April 1998, she was honored with the National Order of Quebec, the highest distinction in her province. That same year, she participated in VH1's Divas Live, a televised event that brought together great names like Aretha Franklin, Mariah Carey, Gloria Estefan, and Shania Twain, in a celebration of powerful female voices. Her greatest recognition came in 1999, when Celine received a star on Canada's Walk of Fame, and soon after, a star on the famous Hollywood Walk of Fame, cementing her legacy. In 2002, after a break to focus on her family, Celine returned with the album A New Day Has Come, which went on to sell 13 million copies and topped the charts in 17 countries. The following year, she released One Heart, and in 2004, Miracle. Although her ballads began to lose some of their airplay on the radio, she remained at the top. The relationship between Celine Dion and René Angelil was purely professional when they first met. After all, she was only a 12-year-old with a dream, and he was an experienced 38-year-old producer. But as time went on, their bond deepened and turned into something more profound. At 19, Celine had her first official date with René, though she later revealed to Access Hollywood that she began seeing him in a different light around the age of 17 or 18. In the beginning, their relationship was kept a secret. The couple knew that the age gap between them would draw criticism, and René was hesitant to make their relationship public. But for Celine, this was a special love, and she wanted the world to know, so they eventually decided to make their relationship public in the booklet for her album The Color of My Love. Celine wasn't concerned with public opinion, but she did seek the approval of one person who was incredibly important to her, her mother. Naturally, Therese Dion was worried about the age difference and the fact that René had been married twice and already had children. She questioned whether he was truly the right man for her daughter, but over time, Therese came to accept their relationship, recognizing how dedicated Celine and René were to each other. In 1991, Renee proposed to Celine, and in 1994, they officially tied the knot in a grand ceremony. By this point, Celine was treated like royalty in Canada and a worldwide celebrity, so her wedding had to befit her fame. She wore an iconic gown with a 6-meter train that took over 1,000 hours to create. The piece, crafted by renowned designers, is still remembered as one of the most beautiful of all time, often compared to Princess Diana's dress. To complete the look, Celine wore a 7-pound tiara adorned with 2,000 Austrian crystals. The luxurious ceremony was held at the Notre Dame Basilica in Montreal and was broadcast live to millions of viewers across Canada. However, the couple's happiness was shaken in 1999 when Renee was diagnosed with throat cancer. Celine then put her career on hold to care for her husband. This period was a test for both of them, but with great determination, Renee overcame the illness and was declared cancer-free in 2000. To celebrate, they renewed their vows in a traditional Melkite Byzantine ceremony in Las Vegas. After this, the couple faced another challenge, this time in their quest to start the family they had always dreamed of. Celine had to turn to in vitro fertilization and underwent years of treatment before finally realizing her dream of motherhood. In 2001, the couple welcomed their first child, Renee Charles, and in 2010, after 6 rounds of IVF, Celine gave birth to twins, Eddie and Nelson, named after South African President Nelson Mandela and French composer Eddie Marnay. Renee Angelil's final battle began in 2013, when cancer returned to his life. He underwent surgery to remove a tumor, and the following year, Celine once again suspended her career to care for him. In 2015, Renee insisted that she return to the stage, even as he continued to fight the disease. Celine resumed her residency in Las Vegas but revealed that Renee had given her the gift of grieving in advance. "My biggest job is to tell my husband, we're okay. I'm taking care of our kids. You are going to watch us from another place." In an emotional interview with USA Today, Celine shared that Renee wanted to die in her arms, and she was committed to being by his side until the end. On January 14, 2016, Renee lost his battle with cancer and passed away at 73, at home, surrounded by family. Just days later, Celine faced another tragedy. Her brother Daniel, 59, also passed away from cancer. In 2001, she had already lost her father, Ademar, and in January 2020, just 2 days after the 4th anniversary of Renee's death, her mother, Therese Dion, passed away at the age of 92. Even while on tour, Celine honored her commitment to her fans, stating that she would continue in memory of her mother, whom she considered a hero, a talented and joyful woman, and a great cook. During these challenging times, Celine found strength in her children, Renee Charles and twins Eddie and Nelson. To her, her children are her greatest success and her top priority. Unlike many celebrities, Celine chose to raise her children without nannies, embracing a unique approach to motherhood that values freedom and individuality. She is known for encouraging her children to explore different interests and express themselves without the pressures of gender stereotypes. In 2019, Celine revealed to The Sun that her twins, from a young age, freely experimented with makeup and clothing, which inspired her to launch a gender-neutral children's clothing line. For her, giving her children the freedom to choose is essential. As for her eldest, Renee Charles, now 23, he grew up away from the spotlight. Passionate about hockey and music, he pursued a career as a rapper. In 2018, under the name Big Tip, Renee Charles released songs on SoundCloud, including 4 original rap songs and 2 covers of The Weeknd, which topped the SoundCloud R&B charts in Canada. In an interview with the Montreal Gazette, he shared that he kept his creations a secret from his mother, but when she listened to them, Celine was both impressed and proud of his talent. At 56, Celine Dion is more than just a music legend. She is an inspiration, a complete artist, fashion icon, businesswoman, and philanthropist. Celine is also a devoted mother and someone who makes a difference in the world. Whenever global tragedies strike, she gets involved. In 2004, after the tsunami in Asia, Celine committed to raising funds for the victims. In 2005, she donated $1 million to help people affected by Hurricane Katrina. Among the many causes she supports, one of her most significant contributions has been in the fight against cystic fibrosis in Canada, which led to her being named a United Nations Goodwill Ambassador in 2010. When asked about finding love again, Celine has always been transparent. For many years, she stated that she couldn't imagine loving anyone other than René Angelo. However, in 2019, she revealed on CBS This Morning that although René will always be present in her life, the pain of his loss has lessened. She's open to the possibility of new love in the future, but isn't in a rush. "I will say yes to love, maybe one day, I don't know," she said, expressing that she is now more focused on enjoying her life and career, with the freedom to do as she wishes. If Celine Dion's inspiring story has touched you, don't forget to support the channel, like the video, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell to receive our next stories. Thank you for staying with me until now, and see you in the next video.